Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Yeah, I'm coming, man. My philosophy was, you know, wasn't nobody gonna make me check in, wasn't nobody gonna make me stay in no cell, wasn't nobody gonna make me scared, because I had already knew what the count was. I already knew I got, you know, undetermined amount of time. So I'm not running from anything because there's nowhere to run to. Period. It ain't nowhere to run to. Even the dudes that was checking their PC, they had a false sense of security thinking that they was getting away from something. But in actuality, you wasn't, because you still, you know, you still in the pit of hell. You still in the pit of danger. Now you just got a tag attached to your name where people is going to automatically view you as weak. They going to automatically view you as a victim. They going to automatically feel like you somebody they can take advantage of. So, you know, I didn't care what the odds was, man. And if I know it sounds crazy, but if death was on the table for me, then that's just what it was going to be. But you can rest assured somebody was going to come with me. We was going to have two-seater on that train right there, because I wasn't going by myself no matter how many people it was. And that's just always the philosophy that I had. Now, I ain't want that type of smoke. I ain't want that type of drama. But if it came to me, then that's just what it was. And I done had those type of situations over the years. I've explained some of them to y'all, you know, back on Augusta, man, when I had a situation when the dudes told me don't come out on the yard, they gonna kill me, you know, I went. You know, dudes have told me before, man, you come out when the doors open, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I'm out here. You gonna have to show me, you know, period, point blank. You gonna have to show me, and that's just what it was, man. And you know, when I look back on that stuff in retrospect, man, I was living a different life, man. I was living a crazy life. But and you know, when you psychoanalyze that stuff, man, it's like I actually devalued my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like, you know, all I had was me, and all I had was this life. So it's been taken away from me. So it was a way of me getting validation, like, okay, I'm gonna protect this at all costs, what I got left. This is all I got left. So I'm not gonna let nobody do nothing to this. I'm not gonna let nobody harm me. I'm not gonna let nobody chump me. I'm not gonna let nobody take nothing from me. And if I lose my life in the process of all of that, then I was good with it. You know, I was good with it, you know. I was good with it. So, you know, prayerfully and thankfully that ain't happened. But you got other dudes that take a different aspect about that. They take a different, you know, approach to that. They don't want to go through that. They don't want to go through the violence. They don't even want to go through, nobody wants to get hurt, but they don't even want to go through the process of whether they got to hurt somebody, you know, because they may feel like if I hurt him and get away with it, then I may have to hurt somebody else. And it becomes a continuous cycle, you know, and some people ain't got the stomach for that. Some people don't got the heart for that. Some people can't, you know, they can't live their life like that, you know, and when you, unfortunately, when you in prison, it's going to be a major part of the only way you have to live, you know. It's you know, it's predator or prey in there. You know, it's kill or be killed. It's bite or be bitten. That's just what it is. And a lot of cats can't handle it, and they check in, man. And you know, PC over the years it evolved, man. It became a bigger and bigger community where dudes used to escape. Dudes are borrow money and owe money, and then you know they supposed to have money on store day, and then have come store day come around. And you looking for Joe or Billy or Bob or somebody, and you looking for them to get paid. They say, where they at? They done went to the store, they done dipped off and went and checked in. And you know, on store day. And it got so bad at one point in time that certain administrations won't let dudes check in on store day because they knew they was running from bills and debts or whatever. So they'll actually throw you back to the wolves. You know, you couldn't even check in. Man, I won't go to jail, man. I fear for my life. Well, no, it's store day. Who you owe? Who you owe? I don't owe nobody. If you don't tell me who you owe, you ain't going to jail. Man, you can't tell me I want to go to jail, man. I fear for my life, man. You gonna lose your job. You can't tell me that, da, 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 da. All right, when you ain't going to jail, go on back to your building. You know? And there do dudes like that, and dudes be petrified. You know what I'm saying? Because you coming back to that building and you ain't got that money that you owe, they petrified. So some of them even pull, you know, Kazakami moves. You know, they might swing on the officer or spit on the officer or cuss the officer out, because that's a show way to go to jail. But it's also a show way to get you, you know, your head bust open, because they gonna put them cuffs on you and beat you down like you what do you call it, a pinata, you know. So, but dudes will rather take that because they know that the officers can only go so far because it's gonna be documented to a certain extent. But they know that dude out on the yard ain't gonna have no mercy for you whatsoever. He might put that Bethlehem in you in a certain way that it might end your life. So dudes would rather pick their poison, and they gonna always pick the police instead of picking the dudes on the yard, because the dudes on the yard ain't got no mercy for you. You know, you done took their money, you done gambled with them, you done lost, you done did whatever it was, but you got to pay for that. And if you let somebody take something from you in prison, the gig is up, man. The gig is up. And you had dudes like that was act tough and ran their mouth and was, you know, this, that, and the third. And then when they got exposed, now people know who you are. They know you not this tough guy that you act like you was, that you betrayed all this time and you been getting away with it. Oh man, the floodgates is open, man. It's open season on you. Everybody wants you. Everybody wants your head off. Man, all this stuff you been getting away with, man, F you, man. Oh, man, they owe you something. Man, they ain't paying you nothing. You know, what? You know what? Man, you better get out my, you know, the floodgates open, you know, because whatever image you portray, whatever you say you are, that's who you going to have to be in prison. That's who you going to have to be all the time. On call, at the drop of a dime. If you a killer, you got to be ready to kill. If you a head buster, you got to be ready to bust open heads. If you a fighter, you got to be ready to knock somebody out. That's just how it is in prison. Period. Because somebody is going to test you. And when the dudes get tested that cannot pass the test, pew, they check in. When they get exposed, pew, they check in. PC, I'm gone. I'm out of here. I come out on another camp and surface on another camp with a whole new image, a whole new name, and hope don't nobody know me. If somebody find out who I am, phew, they gone again. You got dudes that do their whole time like that. Running, scared, hiding, you know. And you see dudes that see them on the camp and they might have been on there for a year or something, and somebody say, come on the camp, they know him, and he on there running stuff or doing this, doing that, because he might got a little size and talk a little tough and know the lingo and all of that. And somebody, man, that dude right there, straight chump, man. He checked in on Greensville, man. And then he exposed. Man, that ain't me, that wasn't me, was you. Talking about it won't you, man. I know who you is. Pew, gone. PC, check in. That's the move. That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. When they can't handle the heat, they get up out of there. But the only way to avoid that is don't go to prison. Because the prison is the kitchen. It ain't nothing but heat. That's all in there. Period. Ain't no way around it. No way around it. It's in there. That's what's in prison. Yeah, that's what's in there. That's what's in prison. Trauma, trouble, violence, chaos, larceny, flim-flammery, skullduggery. That's treacherousness. That's it. It ain't nothing else in there, man. There's nothing in there, man. Everything that you get out of prison is going to be something that you're going to have to instill in yourself. It's going to be something you're going to have to go chase. It's going to be something you're going to have to try to achieve. It's going to have to be a mindset that you have to make yourself better. Because prison is not going to make you better. This is going to have to come from self. You're going to have to make yourself better. You're going to have to make yourself a better man, a better person, a better character. You're going to have to do that amongst all the chaos, amongst all the foolishness, you know, amongst all the violence. You're going to have to find the fortitude in your brain to make yourself better. Now, my question is, why would anybody want to live like that knowing what you got out here in the free world? Not saying it's not crazy out here, not saying it's not confusing, it's not violent, but you are confined when you're in there. Out here, you have choices, you have opportunities, you have chances to make things better. You only give that up when you put yourself in a position to be locked up, to be incarcerated, you know, and you got to deal with this stuff when you in there. You have to, because this is your lifestyle. This is your life. When you walk out your door in the morning, it ain't no telling if you gonna have somebody out there willing to try to hurt you, willing to try to do something to you or whatever. That's gonna be very, very random when you get these crazy people out here that's doing all these mass shootings and all this foolishness. But for the most part, that's not gonna happen. In prison, excuse me, that is a high probability. Very high. Yeah, very, very, very high, man. Very high, because that's the nature of the environment. The nature of the environment breeds chaos. You know, it breeds, you know, suppression, depression, you know, oppression. So that's the nature of the environment. And a lot of people, they succumb to that. They can't take it. But when it was out here on the street in the free world, me included, not excluded, included, we didn't take that under consideration. We took freedom for granted, you know, and then when you ended up in these situations, and then you always got regret. You always wishing you hadn't. You always wishing you can go back. There's no such thing as going back. You know, once you go forward, then that's it. There's no reverse in life. None. You know, and yeah, you had a lot of dudes in there. Well, I would say everybody, almost everybody that I ever met would regret their decisions. You know, their decisions in life that ended them up in prison, because when it all boiled down, none of it was worth it. From kingpin drug dealers to Wall Street fraud artists to, you know, petty thieves to carjackers to gang members. Nobody wants to be in prison. Nobody. And most people cannot handle it. You know, most people can't, because most people don't adopt the philosophy that this may be the last place I be on earth, because it's a reality that you could get killed on any day. And once you have to embrace that and say that this is what it is, and then you have to live your life accordingly, most people cannot do that, you know. And I can't tell you how I was able to do it, because truth be told, I didn't want to die. You know what I'm saying? I most definitely did not want to die. I have more fear of dying out here than I did in there. Because in there, I felt like I can control it. I can control the narrative. I can control the what comes at me and how I deal with it. Out here, you don't even know. You got so many crazy people out here that comes at you and unaware or unexpected that you're not looking for, that you're not anticipating. But in there, you should always anticipate drama. You should always anticipate violence. You should always anticipate foolishness because of where you at. So when you know what you're dealing with, then you know how to respond. It's just a matter of whether you have the courage in you or the fortitude in you to respond the way it is necessary. And most people just don't have that. Then you have checking in, you know, and they running. And they end up running. But you got people that check in prison and PC, it checks in, they have life sentences, man. 100 years under the new law. 50 years under the new law. Which meaning that these people going to be in prison decades and decades and decades, and you're thinking, not knowing prison and not knowing the system, that you can stay in one single small cell. I forget what it is, 8x10, 8x12, you know, with a bed and a mattress and a piece of plastic, I would say, with some foam in it, and a toilet and a sink, and get 3 meals through a slot every day that tastes like dog food. If you thinking that you can live like that for decades, then you know, more power to you, brother. You definitely stronger than me. You definitely stronger than me, because that's what you facing. That's what you facing. Without human contact, without, you know, sunlight, without that's what you facing. And I'm telling you, it's even rougher than it sounds. You know, it's even rougher than it sounds. As I told you, I've been back there for years, so I know. And I know people who've been back there for decades, you know, and it has a psychological effect on them. And PC is no different. Before they made a community of PC, PC was just segregation. You was just in seg in one cell by yourself, but you was considered PC status, and that's where you stay at. That's your housing. You ain't coming out, except for you go on the rec yard by yourself. When they give you rec, you go back in your cell, and you come out to take a shower every 3 days. Other than that, you in your cell. That's it. But it got to the point where the system got so violent, and it was so much rampant violence that dudes was checking in even more. Way more. So they had to build more room. And what came about was they started building communities. They take a whole building and designate that whole building as PC. A whole building. No one in that building was not on PC. So now you got four blocks in the building. Downstairs, left, right. Upstairs, left, right. Whole building is PC. That's how many people was not equipped or not prepared to deal with their reality. Because that's what it was now, reality. So they couldn't cope with it. They didn't want to be around it. But the byproduct of that was, once they got back there and they created these whole communities of PC, you even gonna have dudes back there that's gonna try to be excuse me. You had dudes back there, they trying to be bullies in PC. Oh, you checked in, yeah, but I didn't check in because of that. I checked in because of this, or you checked in for that. So now they trying to, one up each other about who checked in, who back here, all y'all back here, all y'all scared of something. But it's a matter of what you scared of that determines the hierarchy back there. So you got dudes back there that check there, oh yeah, because the gang dudes wasn't going to get me, but if it was a one-on-one or if I owed somebody some money, I would never check, and they making up excuses. And then they bullying them back there. Oh, well, they trying to extort each other in PC. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't no hiding in prison. That's one thing you cannot do in prison is hide. Because they got to count every day. They got to be accountable for where you at every day. And everybody always going to know where you are. You are never alone in prison. Never alone in prison. You heard that loud and clear. In prison, you are never alone. You always being watched. You always being monitored. You always being screened. You always being targeted. You are never alone in prison. But yet and still, it's the loneliest place on earth. Now, ain't that what you call it, an oxymoron? You are never alone in prison, but yet it is the loneliest place on earth. I've never said that out loud. It just came out of my head, and then I'm thinking about it now, so that's why I might be pausing, because that's reality. That is actual reality. You never alone in prison, but it is the most loneliest place on earth because you feel alone. But you never alone because you always being watched. You always in a cell with somebody. You always got company. You always got somebody peeping in your door, even if you're in SEG and you're in a single cell, peeping in your door, checking on you, counting you every day, watching you, taking you to a shower, escorting you here, escorting. Crazy. Crazy. And like I say, most people can't handle that. They can't deal with it. It's too much pressure for them, and they got to check out. And when they check out, PC is the place that they check out. But once they get there, they realize you just went from one problem to another set of problems. When in actuality, the biggest problem is you're in prison. And it ain't nowhere to hide. Nowhere. Yeah, there's nowhere to hide in prison, man. Nowhere. Prison is just like a mirror, man. It's like everywhere you look, there you are, And the reality is just right there all the time. That you don't have your freedom, you don't have your loved ones, you don't have the things that you like in life, you don't have the luxuries or the the little perks, the little small everyday things that people out here take for granted. You don't have none of that. So life is miserable, for the most part. That's why I tell people all the time, I say I never had a good day in prison because I never had the things that I wanted to have. I never was around the people that I wanted to be around. I never was around my loved ones. I never was around, freedom. So I never had a good day in there. Even days that was seeing like it was better than others, it was never a good day. You know what I'm saying? It was never a good day. The only good day was the day that I walked up out of it. You know what I'm saying? That was the only good day. To look behind me and see the prison behind me. To see the gate shut and me on the other side. That was a good day. But all them, days in between that 12,345 plus days, nah, it won't none of them good, man. None of them, and I thank God every day that I made it through that and to be out here to try to share this information with y'all so y'all can share this information with some people that might be on the other side of the law, that might be trying to get involved with something that's going to lead them to prison, that might got negative thoughts and don't understand the reality of what they're facing. They need to know what they're facing. If they know what they're facing, then they might make different decisions. I knew if I knew what I was facing, I'd made some different decisions. And then now in retrospect, going through all I went through, it ain't nothing that I would just tell me that I wouldn't have made different decisions. Straight up, because that was a lot to endure. A lot to endure, man. A lot to endure. And I know a lot of dudes that succumbed to that pressure, man. I know dudes that instead of, like I say, checking in, they checked all the way out. Dudes that could not handle that pressure, they couldn't, deal with it, and then when they see they want to go to PC, and then they see what type of life PC is, and then when they see how the administration don't care nothing about them, when they get all of that knowledge in their head, they feel like the only other way out is death. And they choose to do it themselves, then they have someone do it too. So, I seen a lot of dudes take their life in prison, man. I told y'all the story right before I left about the dude, man, Pac-Man. That really, really, really shocked me, man, when Pac-Man, killed himself. And he was a maintenance man, and he was a fun dude, always laughing, always joking, always, was the life of the party, man. But he was dealing with his own demons and the things that he was going through. He had a girl that was the only person that was holding him down. He didn't have no family left, and she was the only one, and then she left him for another dude out on the street. And he couldn't take it because he felt like now he had nothing. And, the next thing you know, man, he hung himself, and that was crazy because, like I said, I knew him, but I didn't know him, but I knew him from talking to him. I knew him from being around him. I knew his personality. I knew him from coming in the pods all the time because he was the maintenance man, and he could just go wherever he want. And, man, just to hear that he did that, it just reminds you that, you never can know how much pressure a certain person is under. Because in prison, everybody always gonna try to keep their feelings close to their chest because don't nobody in there care. Who you gonna cry to? Who you gonna talk to? They don't care. They got their own problems. And then if you do find somebody you feel like you can talk to, you always feel like as soon as you finish talking to them, you go tell everybody else, oh man, he over here crying and talking about this and that and that, man, like ain't nobody else got no problem. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, man. Just stay on the street. Woo, woo, woo. That's how they do. That's how they do. It's heartless in there. And it's cold-blooded. It's cold-blooded, man. And I seen a lot of things, man. And over the years I seen a lot of dudes check in. And I seen dudes that check in that I wouldn't have thought would have checked in. I've seen dudes that I know that actually done rumbled and, went to war with dudes and did this, that, and the third, but when they felt like the odds were stacked against them, like they going up against a mob or they going up against a gang or something like that, and it ain't nobody there to help him, and he ain't got no backup, and he feel like he all alone. Certain people ain't built to go kamikaze. Certain people ain't built to say, okay, show me. You know what I'm saying? And they just check in and just say, I try my hand on another institution. Or I try my hand on another camp. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't dealing with this. Because they felt like they may not prevail, or they felt like, it's going to cost them more than what, they was willing to pay. So, and who's to say? It's a lot of old statements, man. A lot of people say a good run beat a bad stand any day. My old Sally Jerry, shout out to Jerry Jenkins. Jerry used to say that. Jerry say, man, a good run beat a bad stand any day, man. At least that way you have a chance to fight again another day. He said, bad stand might cost you your life, you know, and that's real. But at the same time, once you start running, you never stop. A sprint becomes a marathon, you know. A sprint becomes a marathon. Once you start, you never stop, man. So I feel personally, my own personal philosophy is, you know, plant your flag in the ground and say, this is where I stand, this is who I am, and I ain't going for nothing. And if you violate it, then so be it. So be it, you know. And we going to take it wherever it need to go. And, you know, that's what it is. But like I say, that's just my philosophy. And I don't expect everybody to adapt my philosophy. I don't expect everybody to think like I think. I don't expect everybody to move like I move, you know. But at the same time, each and every person has to determine their own fate. They have to determine what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, especially when you're in prison. Because when you're in prison, you're going to have to determine who you are and what you are. One thing for certain and two things for sure. Once you get into prison, whoever you thought you was, prison is going to reveal who you really are. And it's going to let you know who you really are. Because a lot of dudes think they tough until you sit there and witness a dude getting hit multiple times with a Bethlehem about 12, 13 inches long, and you see blood popping all out everywhere, and you see him screaming and hollering like a child, and no one's coming to help him, and you see, you know, dudes get their life taken, and you see dudes get their head bust open so wide you can see on the inside of their head, and you know, man, when you see that type of stuff, then you start reevaluating, am I really a tough guy? Do I really want to go through that? You know, do I want to be on the receiving end? Do I want to be on the giving end? Or do I want to be have any parts to do with it at all? See what I'm saying? So prison gonna let you know. They gonna answer all them questions for you. You see what I'm saying? They gonna answer all them questions for you. Period. You know, and the best way is, like I say, to have nothing to do with it. Have zero to do with it. When you out here on the street, man, appreciate being out here. Value being out here, value your family, value your decisions, be smart, you know what I'm saying, and understand that this is a gift because these people would rather have you locked up. They would rather have you caged up. They would rather have you where they getting a check off of your misery, where they making a living off of your pain, where their career is your misery. Your mistakes. You see what I'm saying? So, you gotta make good choices when you out here, man. You gotta avoid these things. You gotta duck them hooks, man. They coming, man, at all angles from all areas. Because it's pitfalls out here and we all fall victim to it. But the thing is, we seem like we all fall victim to the same thing. It's like the information is not being passed down from generation to generation to say, look, he got locked up because he was doing this, and you doing the same thing. This is what your fate gonna be. It's like we're not passing that information on. And information is key. We got to pass these messages on, man. That's why I tell y'all to share these videos. I don't care if you post them or whatever you do with it. Just let the message get out. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't do something that you don't know nothing about. You can't prepare for something that you have no knowledge of. These dudes need to know and be prepared to make good decisions out here before they end up in that position, because like I say, getting in prison is easy. Getting out is the miracle. That's the miracle. I mean, really, that's a miracle. Once you go in there and you come out, that's a miracle. So people who say they never witnessed miracles in their life, you have all witnessed miracles in your life. When you've seen someone go into prison and he came back out alive, that is a miracle. Or he came back out sane, that is a miracle. Or he came back out better than he was before he went in, that is a miracle. You understand? Because the pressure is in there, it's enormous, and it's relentless, and it just don't stop. You know, it just don't stop. So, man, this is what we're doing over here, man, in 33 years of prison stories, man. We trying to educate these people and let them know what's going on behind them walls, man, on the other side, so they don't even want no parts of it. And, you know, like I say, it's real. It's real in the field over there, man. It's real. And a lot of people can't handle that. but it's too late once you get yourself in there. You can't go to prison and then be out here, be a gangster, be like, oh, I get mad and let your emotions take over from you, and then you shoot somebody or kill somebody or something and say, but that's not you. But when you go in there, that's going to have to be you. That's who you're going to have to be all the time. So you can't make emotional decisions or just quick decisions that will affect your entire life. Because whatever you do out here is who you're going to have to be in there. That's who you're going to have to be, because that's who you're going to be perceived as. And when you show anything indifferent to that, that's when the floodgates open. That's when all the chaos come. That's when all the drama come, you know. So then what are you going to do? You going to fold or stand up? That's the question. But those are questions that you don't have to answer if you don't go to prison. Period. Stay out here, man. Enjoy this life. Enjoy your family. You know, find a career, find something you like to do, make it work for you, man. It ain't nothing wrong with hard work. Trust me. It ain't nothing wrong with it at all. You know, ain't nothing wrong. I get up every day and make these videos, man, because I feel like y'all want them and I feel like it's needed. Every day. Just like I got up every day in prison and cut hair. You understand? But I cut hair for 30 years for 45 cents an hour. You do the math. We get paid once a month. You see what I'm saying? Dudes out here getting cut one hair and get $45. You know what I'm saying? I'm working for 45 cents per hour. Slave wages, you know, slave treatment, you know, mistreatment, distreatment. This is all a part of prison. So stay out here, man. Enjoy this life, man, and appreciate it. And if you got to work hard, so be it. But I guarantee you it's thousands and thousands upon thousands of dudes that would love to take your place, that would love to have your struggles, that would love to have your problems than the ones that they already inherited when they went into prison. So y'all take heed to this, man. And like I say, it's dudes in there right now that's in PC that's probably been in PC for decades. Decades. And when they come out, trouble's still right there waiting for them. 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, but they may got a life sentence, may not even getting out, may got life without parole. Checked in 15 years ago. When he come out, somebody gonna see him. Somebody gonna notice him. Somebody gonna say, oh, you out here now, you checked in back in 89. That's how it go. You cannot hide in prison. So people who think they can or think they can get in there and relax and lay and mind your business and sleep all day, and you gonna duck all this, and then you gonna just wake up one day and magically your time is over and you gonna go out the door, forget about it. Forget about it. I ain't never seen it happen. I ain't never seen it happen. You know, period. From old to young to black to white to Hispanic to whatever. I ain't never seen it happen. Never. You know. So, man, be safe out here, man. Be smart, man. Make good decisions, man. Stay out of the prison. You ain't got to worry about checking in nothing. You know, you just do your life, live your life out here. Be the best you can be, the best version of you. Try to get better every day. Try to accomplish something every day. Try to get closer to your goals every day, and everything else will work itself out, man. I sure do appreciate y'all rocking with me. I hope y'all share these videos, man, especially to these young people so they can get this message. I hope I was coherent. I hope I was clear. I'm kind of stuffed up from that desert, but I had fun, though, you know. So shout out to my family, man, my nieces, man, Zoe and Tori, and my sisters, man, Pat and Toy, and my auntie Pooh. So, you know, shout out to y'all, man, for showing me a good time out there in Vegas. It was my first time in Vegas. It'd be memorable in my mind because y'all took me. Hopefully I go again and again, but that was the first time and I won't forget that. Appreciate y'all, TBP, for riding with me, watching the video when I was out there, so y'all went with me too. Won't forget that either. So, appreciate that, man. Much love, man. Y'all be safe out there. Be smart, man. Make good decisions. I'll be back at y'all in a minute, man. We're going to get these videos rolling in a minute. I was on vacation. One time in my life, I had a vacation, man. Did you miss me? Oh, did you miss me? Y'all remember that episode on Martin? Did you miss me? It was Varnell. I think it was Varnell. Tommy Davidson. Did you miss me? But anyway, man, I'll be back at y'all in a minute, man. Y'all be safe, be smart, make good decisions, man, and duck them hooks. Boom, 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 boom. Ah.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.